this is the only time that I'm going to do this. You guys have no idea, if you have an empty sac, what it's like to go from being depleted to having a full sac on you and what it does. So if you don't want to hear about women attraction stories and the craziest experiences that I've had on this streak and streaks before, I'm going to tell you about my women attraction stories and the craziest times that I knew it was because I had a full sac. So if you easily get triggered or you're just not interested, I don't believe that you should do retention for women attraction, but this is a consequence of me having a full sac. All of these experiences I've experienced on retention, not just this streak, but just being on plus 30 days, plus 50 days, and I'll let you know throughout the video. But like I said, if you're easily triggered and you obviously are too close to lust, then don't watch this video. But if you just want to witness a couple of stories and things like that, this is the only time I'm going to do it, because I haven't made a video like this, and I think it's something that, although it's not always beneficial to talk about this because it is a double-edged sword, I think it may shine a light on how different the experiences are. So yeah, don't watch this if you're easily triggered, and if you don't want to hear about my previous women interactions or just anything, don't watch this video. But I'll start off when I was 16 years old. I was retaining unconsciously. I was trying to get away from porn, trying to get away from women and just focus on music. And I was living in California at the time. And if you guys know if you've ever been to Southern California and you know about the women there, then you know what I'm talking about. But anyway, I would play basketball at this park, and I noticed there was this girl there, and she was always staring at me. I was retaining for like a week. For some reason, I realized that when I was younger, small retention streaks were just as effective as higher streaks now that I'm older. It seemed like when I was 16 to 18 years old, a week of retention did a lot as far as like benefits and women attraction goes. And I'm not sure if that's because I've spent more time being depleted after that, so it took me more time to build up my energy, or more people are depleted during that stage of life, so you stand out more, if you get what I'm saying. So it was like a big difference that women felt when I was retaining at that age. Even though I wasn't able to keep it up, I would go for like 2 weeks max. It was still something that definitely changed my experiences with women. So I remember I would go to this park and I'd be playing basketball, and I'd be getting stares from women that I wouldn't get normally. And this one day, this girl, she gives me her number. She comes up to me. She's like, yeah, I've seen you around here. And I'm just like, okay, this is weird because this doesn't usually happen to me. I'm just hooping. You know, like I know that some of you guys may think, oh, it's not because of retention. It definitely is because of retention. So that was like my first small experience where this girl was really reaching out to me. And then she started, you know, sending me, I didn't even know her. She started sending me explicit photos and videos, not even having a conversation really with her, never really seen her like that. And then she would invite me over to her house and shit. She would want to come over to my house, and shit was crazy. I definitely relapsed, but it was not worth it. That's why I'm telling you, if you're doing this for women attraction, I learned from all of these experiences. I just want to make this video since you guys are always saying, does it actually help? And some of you guys are doing this for women attraction purposes, but you shouldn't. You'll learn. I had to learn. You'll learn too. So ended up relapsing, and I found out that she had a boyfriend. I found out that she was talking to this other dude, and he was completely pissed. I stopped talking to her, obviously. It was a very quick thing, but I was like, that was weird. I was not feeling like I was able to attract women that easily until I started realizing, like, okay, there's a correlation here. Me not watching porn, not having sex, something's going on here. I didn't know it at the time, like consciously, until I was a little bit older and I started going to parties on retention. And I would be the only guy. It seemed like there's this celebrity effect when you do retention. The only guy that women were seeking. Like, I'd walk into the room, and around this time, sometimes I would perform at parties. Sometimes I would just go and, get high, just have fun with my friends. And I remember this one time, everybody's like dancing, drinking, smoking, but no guy's actually getting danced on. So at 17 years old, I was probably like on a week and a half at this time. And I remember like my friends telling me that like all these girls are looking at you. All these girls are like trying to get close to you, like want to touch you. And a bunch of girls were like touching me, started dancing on me. Girls would ask me if I had a girlfriend. I remember I told this one girl, I was like, yeah, I got a couple. And she was like, can I be one? Like, no shame, no shame at all. And I also remember during this time, like in the summer, I was retaining because I just didn't have the time. Like, it wasn't even, I was trying to get away from lust, but I would notice that I was just doing other stuff. So I wasn't watching porn, I wasn't having sex, I was just like having fun with my friends, just hooping, just fighting, just doing kid shit, right? And I remember I'd go to like parties and shit, and girls with boyfriends, like this will happen. This is why you have to be very careful. Girls with boyfriends would be hitting on me. I'd get their number. Like, we'd be having fun at the party and shit. And then it would turn into like this thing, right? We'd be seeing each other for a while, and then they like throw themselves onto me. I remember this one time where I was at this party, and this girl's like telling me that she finds me handsome and she wants to get to know me, all this shit. Nobody says anything to me that she has a boyfriend. Nobody says anything. Bro, I end up hanging out with her, and we go to her friend's house. Her boyfriend calls her phone. Bro, don't do this shit. Don't be the bad guy, bro. Don't be the bad guy, but fuck, you're gonna have to live with this shit for the rest of your life. Like, I'm laughing about it now because it's fucking ridiculous. But like I said, don't watch this video if you're easily triggered. So her boyfriend calls her phone, and he's crying because he knows something's up. And I'm right next to the bitch. She's nude. She's just naked like a stripper, bro. She's ready to go. She answers, and he's like, I'm gonna kill myself if you don't tell me where you are. I'm gonna kill myself if you don't tell. Bro, fucked up how these women will lie their ass off. Like, she wasn't saying that she was with another dude. She wasn't saying that she was with me and she was about to suck my dick. She wasn't saying any of that shit. She was just like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm busy right now, baby. Like, I'm gonna get back to you in a little bit. And he knows something's going on. So he's crying on the phone saying this is why you should never be a simp. Because you have no idea. This is why I don't trust women. Because I have been through all sides of the fucking spectrum with women, where I find out a girl has a boyfriend, or I'm the motherfucker that's fucking a girl with a boyfriend, and shit like this will happen. And this has happened multiple times where I see I'm like retaining, and girls will want to hang out with me. They'll throw themselves at me, and they have a fucking boyfriend. So he was crying. We end up doing our thing. And she had no shame in the shit. I had no shame in the shit. I'm young. I don't know what the fuck's going on. I'm just trying to get a nut. So I end up, after like going to parties and retaining for a little bit and then like hanging out with women, I'm seeing there's a correlation here. Why is it that once I stop watching porn, once I stop having sex, that stuff comes to me? Women start wanting to have sex with me. So that's why I say don't do retention for women, because you're going to relapse. You're going to fucking relapse, and you're going to be like, well, fuck, I can just do this every week. I can go on retention and track women, and I'll be fine. But you're going to feel empty. And yeah, I'm making jokes about this shit, but I felt very empty. And it really ruined my trust in women. Like, I'm not able to trust women the same because I've seen all this shit. And the same thing happened with this other girl. I didn't know she had a boyfriend. She comes over to my place. We do the thing. Boyfriend calls. And she's just saying like, oh, baby, I'm going to see you tomorrow. Like, don't worry about it. I'm just hanging out with my friend right now. And I'm just Like, wow. And then the next day, she's hanging out with her boyfriend, and they're probably still together, because these simps have no energy. They don't understand. Like, even though I was gone for a little bit, depleting myself, they couldn't see the shit. Like, if a girl's doing that to me, I already fucking know. Like, you know what I mean? You know immediately. You're like, there's no way. You're probably sucking some dick right now. And that's obviously like my trust issues, but same thing, you have a discernment once you're on retention. And then once I got a little bit older and started taking retention a little more seriously, I would go for like 30 days, 60 days. There was times where I'd meet a girl, first day, like a lot of the interactions I've had with women, the first day that I meet them, I'm smashing, like within an hour. Like, we were just supposed to hang out, you know, get a bite to eat. The girl's like, no, let's go to your place. Like, I'm trying to get to know you, all this. Bro, we get to my house. At this one time, I was retaining for like 30 days. And I was just like, you know how it is on retention. You have urges. You're ready to release. Bro, the first time I had sex with this girl was the first day that I met her. And then I didn't release. And she was pissed. It was like she wanted to throw herself onto me for the purpose of me releasing. That's why I tell you, you have to discern what kind of women you're actually hanging around. And I'm letting y'all know, don't do this shit for women attraction. You may get women attraction, but it's crazy. It's crazy how they act. Like, she was undressing herself. I didn't say shit. She doesn't even know me. She's just taking everything off, trying to suck my dick. We get into it, and I'm like thinking, like, actually, you know what? I'm not going to release. So I don't release. And she's like, no, please, you know, like, do it for me, like, please. And I'm like, no. So she ends up going home, and she's all over me, like, to the point where she's nonstop sending pics, telling me that she doesn't want to be with nobody else, telling me that she's obsessed with me, telling me that she's addicted to me. And I'm like, holy shit, there is something in my balls right now. And it's obviously a 30-day nut that feels like dynamite, and it's doing something. Like, this is different. And then I see her again, I relapse, ended completely. And like, the whole dynamic shifted, and she was no longer like obsessed with me, texting me, not like, she would call me and text me nonstop. I would just be going about my day, and she'd be calling me 30, 40, 50 fucking times. I know it sounds crazy, but this is real shit that would happen to me. Like, you'll see it once you get on a long streak, and you got to be careful of the types of women that are actually coming to you, because they'll start acting crazy. And if you want to, really it does something, because like, you not nutting shows not only you're in control, but like, you're not willing to go that far, and they want it more. So it's crazy. It's happened to me where I'd go, like, after that, I met up with another girl, and learn from my mistakes, guys. I was going for like 60 days, and I was like ready to explode. At this time, I wasn't so aware of the consequences that would happen, right? Same thing. I bang her, don't release. She's obsessed. First night that we meet, obviously I'm smashing. And then next time I see her, didn't release. The next time I see her, I release. So I saw her 3 times. The last time I saw her, I released. She was no longer like obsessed with me, checking in with me all the time, sending me nudes, all this explicit shit, telling me that she wants to do all crazy shit for me, acting overly possessive over me. Like, I can't even look at another girl, she's gonna fucking kill me type shit. And a lot of you think like, oh, I want a girl like that. No, you don't, bro. No, like, once you have that shit, once you experience it, you're like, fuck out of here, you fucking crazy bitch. And then I see her post on Instagram like a week later, and she has a boyfriend. And it's just like, they'll go for the simps eventually. There's something about retention that makes them understand like they can't control you. And then once they get your energy, what happens is there's an energy transfer. All the vibration, the buildup of confidence, all the actual energy of momentum that you built up, like, I can go and do things, like, I'm fearless, like, all that, you actually transfer that to the woman, especially if you, like, you're nutting, you know, in her in some type of way. You transfer that directly to her. So now she feels like, okay, I can go do whatever I want, just like you feel like you can do whatever you want on retention. So I was at 60 days that time, find out that she's with another dude, she's posting with this dude, total simp ass, you know, like, can't compare to me. And then you think like, why is this fucking happening? Because they would rather be with somebody that's easily controllable, and then they're still calling you up like a week later. That shit will happen to me all the time, where even girls that I haven't talked to in years, girls that I haven't talked to in months, they call me up and they're trying to, hang with me. It's just an instant block. So shit like that would happen. Also, I've had instances where like, I was on 90 days and same thing, bro. Like I didn't even know that this girl was interested in me at all. Like, I got her number through social media. She was like DMing me and shit. I ended up texting her and she was like not texting me back. I was on 100 days, so I was like, something's fucking weird here. Bro, she didn't respond for like the whole day. And then that night, she just sends me a bunch of nudes and she's like, where are you at? Like, I want to see you right now. We didn't talk. Like, we weren't talking at all. She just jumped from not responding to saying that shit. And I was like, something's happening here. Like, I'm about to hit 100 days. So she comes over. I didn't nut. We do the thing, but I didn't nut at that point. But she was insane. Like, the thing is, when they know, they can feel your energy. I say they can smell your ball sack. It's not like they smelling you like a dog and shit, but they know that something's different about you because you don't really care. Like, there's an aura of you not needing sex, and that creates space for them to get more attached to you. Especially if you don't nut, they're going to feel the type of way. So I didn't release, and I just found out that this woman is still trying to get into my drawers, bro. I had to block her immediately because I know she's trying to drain me that time. And like, I stopped talking to her after that because I was like, I want to make it to 100 days. And she was acting insane. Like, she ends up coming over to my place. Obviously a mistake on my side of things, but the way they act, the way that she was acting with me on 90 days of retention, bro, as soon as she came into my fucking apartment, she got undressed, started giving me hickeys, biting my neck and shit. She was doing all types of shit, bro. Just like telling me like, put that motherfucker in me, like put it in. Like, she was going crazy. Bitch was wetter than a fucking tsunami, and I was doing nothing. This bitch was choking me, doing all freaky shit, bro. I was not ready for that shit, but I didn't release. And I just remember thinking like, this is like an attack, bro. At that point, that's when I really, like, I had a mind switch. And like I said, don't watch this shit. I'm doing this for the purpose of showing you the difference from being depleted and then being on retention, and how you need to be careful with these women because you are going to get woman attraction. So I didn't release, and I saw how that affected her. It went from the point like, bro, she seemed like she wasn't interested over the phone, right? Until that night. As soon as she saw me in person and felt like my actual energy, she would not leave me alone. Like, nonstop explicit photos, nonstop calling me. Like, we never talked before, and she's trying to be on FaceTime all the time, making sure that I'm not with other women. Like, just doing the most, like trying to mark me so that like nobody else like sees that like I'm with her, basically, type shit. Like, okay, you got hickeys on you, like you must have somebody, like you got something on you. And it's like, once you release that energy, that craving stops, bro. It's subconscious, and I try to explain it to women and they don't understand. Like, they don't get that it's actually an energetic thing that they're feeling. So be careful, guys. Obviously, when you hold that energy and you actually do find a good girl, which is rare, she'll add on to that energy in some type of way. But it's a fucking rare experience. Like, it's extremely rare to find somebody who's... I've noticed if I'm not interested in lust, a lot of the time the woman is not as interested. And if I lead the way, because you'll naturally do that on semen retention, and you turn to more spiritual things, you end up bringing that out of her. Like, all of these women were very, very feminine. And like, all of these women were extremely submissive, like to the point where it's almost like alien, because like you think that, oh, all modern women are just like masculine and like they're on birth control and shit, so that affects their hormones and like they don't want to have kids and they're not like traditional or whatever. No, you being on semen retention is gonna turn these bitches into a fucking housewife. Like, and you have to use that with discernment, because yeah, obviously there's like a it's not a great dynamic to just meet up with a bitch and fuck. So I learned a lot of these stories. They were like a year ago, 2 years ago, but I learned from my mistakes and I realized that I can't be doing retention for women. I'm on 150 days. Right now, this is my first time hitting 5 months, and I'm never going to go back to just acting out from my lustful, fleshly desires because it never did anything good for me. In the end, it never provided me with anything. And a lot of the time, once you release that energy, the woman doesn't really care. It's hard for me to think that they would. And I haven't experienced, like, a lot of the times where I was in a relationship with a girl and then I would release, but she would come to me with some bullshit. Like, but when every time I was retaining and I was on a long streak and I've been maintaining my seed, perfect girl. Like, she just like aligned with you completely. Like, she's on her best behavior. It like almost makes them want to be like good to you. But then once you release, bro, it's hard for me to see like how could they keep that up? Because it's almost like a subconscious thing that they don't understand, that once you release, they no longer feel the need to show up for you a type of way. And that's what I said. Like, I was in a relationship, I was releasing sometimes, and then I would notice, right, why is it a couple days after I release, you bring me some bullshit? You're talking to other guys. You're hiding shit from me. It's like when I was retaining, you were acting like a fucking angel. Like, there's a correlation between all of this. That's why I say you got to be careful and don't do it for women attraction or attention or anything like that. But some other stories, like, I would be on 70 days. At this time, I didn't give a fuck about women. I was focused on retention. I was like, there's no way in hell I'm relapsing. I was pissed. And I was going to the gym, and I remember this one time I was on the tricep dip machine going crazy. I'm hooded up. I'm never showing off my physique every time I go to the gym. There's two women in front of me on the bench, and they're starting to take off. They're like looking back at me. They're taking off their clothes, and they end up bending down, pulling their booty shorts up. And this will happen to you where women are following you around. Women would follow me around the gym, and you see that other guys are seeing this shit happen, that they're trying to get your attention, and guys will get mad at you. And they'll try to challenge you in some type of way, whether that's getting close to you or trying to say something to you, trying to put their hands on you. You have to be careful. You have to understand, like, this energy is affecting people way more than I think. Because I'm just locked in. I don't give a fuck. Like, I got my headphones in. I'm not really paying attention. But from my peripheral, I'm seeing these girls taking their clothes off. They start looking at me. I move machines. They're doing the same shit everywhere. They're just trying to look at me, stare at me, it makes me uncomfortable to an extent. And this is probably how a lot of women feel, but they're bending down and they're just like making sure that I could see like their panties and their ass showing and shit. And that would happen to me a lot. So I stopped going to a gym, built a home gym. And recently I've been going to the gym nearby my crib and shit. And it's been like crazy how some days like older women will follow me around. Some women will be staring at me, but I feel like once you get out of even looking for it, or once you reach a high enough streak, it's like your energy becomes too intense and you'll still receive some of that attention. Like today I was at the gym and this couple was like training around me, and the guy was just doing the most around his girlfriend, like kissing her, like after every set, touching her, like they had their own room and shit. And she's looking at me going crazy on the pull downs, on the cables, and she doesn't even want to get touched by her boyfriend. And you could just see like the uncomfortability that she's facing in the moment, and she like keeps staring at me and shit, and I'm just like, oh, just stop looking at me. And the boyfriend's looking at me like all mad and shit, and he's trying to like rope her and hug her in the fucking gym. He's not even focused on the fucking weights, bro. He's not focused on his workout. So still get attention like that, and a lot of compliments. If I go to the store, like, and the clerk is a woman, she'll give me compliments on shit, talking about my bone structure. This is things that never happened to me when I was depleted. Even my hair, like I got the same fucking hair. Why the fuck is it? I got a full sack. Why are you seeing my full sack through my hair? Why are you all of a sudden I'm bricked up in the morning? Women are complimenting me and saying that, oh, you look masculine. I don't really see men that look like you. I'm like, what are you talking about, bitch? You're 50 years older than me. And a lot of cougars will try to get up in your pants, bro. It's some weird shit. They know they know what energy is. Like, they know more on a conscious level than a lot of the younger women. So they'll try to set shit up for you. And you just got to be careful. A lot of guys are going to see this and they're going to feel a type of way about it, but don't do this shit for woman attraction. Every time that I relapsed, I remember this one girl, she was like telling me that I'm her soulmate and shit. We get into it on the first day. Bro, after relapsing, like, she was all over me. Chemistry was fire. After I relapsed, I never heard from her again. Like, shit like that will happen. And then once you relapse, you feel empty. You feel like a bitch. That tiger that you had, that spark of just test that you had is completely gone. You went from feeling like Goku to feeling like a puppy. You went from feeling like Thanos, like you have the world in your hands type shit, to feeling like, bro, I'm playing Legos right now, trying to build myself up, like, brick by brick, day by day. Like, this is not fun. And that's how the first week feels. So definitely, if you guys had triggers and you watch this, don't blame me, because fucking, I told you. But this was just a 150-day special, because I never talk about women attraction, but it's definitely affected me being on semen retention and the way that women treat me. I feel like the types of women I've attracted, I was talking about this on the podcast. I don't know if I said it at the beginning of the video, but yeah, I'll link the podcast that I did with Bogdan in the description. But it feels like every 30 days on retention, the universe sends you a woman that is like your ideal type, and they got updates. So let's say, like, I remember on previous streaks, I'd hit 30 days, a woman would come into my life and she'd have like all the traits that I want, right? And she'd be all feminine, they act all bubbly at first, and then you relapse and they turn into like this masculine demon and shit, and they're just like hating you and saying all this weird shit to you, not acting submissive anymore, not being all over you. And that's part of the reason why, like, if you're in a relationship, don't fucking relapse. You guys are talking about Valentine's Day is coming up. My girlfriend has something planned for me. Don't fucking relapse, bro. Shit, it's a test. Like, if you relapse, you're giving in and you're giving her power. But if you retain, she's gonna be like, okay, like, he's serious about this shit. This is really who he is. And maybe you guys, depending on the girl, you'll share a good dynamic. But a lot of moments where I noticed that I would continue retaining and I would neglect the girl, I'd curve the girl, right? On 30 days, a woman would come into my life, I'd curve her, go for another 30 days. Around 60, 70 days, another woman comes into my life. She got an updated program. She's like the last girl, but better. And she has like traits to her that the universe knows I like. Like, maybe, maybe you're into anime, maybe you're into football. All of a sudden, she plays football with her brothers and shit, and she wants to play with you, and she watches the same anime as you. Or like, she goes to the same gym, and like, maybe like you started working out and now she started working out. Or like, you're reading a certain type of book and now she's reading that same shit. It's like they get an update. You curve that bitch, okay, the universe is like, all right, we're gonna test this motherfucker with a better updated version, because you didn't fall for that one. So we're gonna give, this bitch a fatter ass, prettier face, no makeup type shit, big ass titties. She gonna be all over him, and then he's gonna think that he found, the one, and then we'll take his nut.